right? So as a user, we want to be able to enter text. As a user, we want to be able to change the color of the text. As a user, we want to be able to what? Maybe make it bold. And we also want to have that about button, right? Okay, now, that's the end of our Scrum session for today. But I wanted to do that because I wanted to ask you, how are we going to do all of this? How are we going to get this to run? What do we have to do? What do we have to put on our form to get this to work? So somebody comes to you and they say they have this project proposal, and you say, oh yeah, I studied Visual VB.net, and I might be able to make that for you. Okay? So what do you, how are we going to build it? What do we need to do? Can somebody start to elucidate the steps? Can we close that? I think we should close the doors. So what are the steps? Or what? I'm sorry. What should we do here? How are we going to make this? Anybody? Any suggestions? Yes. Sorry. Designing the interface. Good. That's right. We want to design the interface. Okay. And which? What do we need to do to design the interface? What's our first step? Importing the images. Okay, I would think the first step might be, yeah, okay, importing the images. And how about what second step? Well, okay, I wanted to say we're going to start by making a form. Okay, and then, yeah, we're going to import the images. So you can see there are some images that I'm using here. And actually, I gave them to you on Blackboard, so you have them. And then he said, what? What did you say? Oh, the text box, right? And what else? The buttons, right? We need the buttons, right? So we need to put the buttons up there. And this is called the taskbar, so we need to implement that as well. I'm sorry, it's called the status bar. We need to implement that as well. And then, okay, so once we get the form set up like this, then what do we need to do? So, or actually, yeah, then what are we going to need to do after that? What are we going to need to do? Well, we're going to have to get the different things that are supposed to happen. We're going to have to make them happen, right? So we're going to have to write some code. And you've done this many times already, right? Okay? So, for example, just to think about it, how will we get this button to work? How can this work? So the user types in something, and they click on this button, and it makes it red. How can we implement that? What kind of code? What's the main part of the code that we're going to have to write to make this happen? What's the main part of the code that we're going to have to use to make this happen? Somebody else. What? Anybody imagine how this is going to happen? How's that going to happen? Oh, it was originally black. Let me do it again. Okay, it's originally black. I click on this button, and it's red. How is that going to happen? How are we going to write that code? Okay, so it's very easy to get those buttons up at the top, and also very easy to get something down at the bottom. So just for the bottom, just add a status strip onto the form. It will automatically place itself on the bottom. So just do this. Status strip here. Just drag it on there. And it appears down here. Okay, and this is the object itself. If you want to access the properties, you can click on this and change the properties. Okay, so let's do that. And let's give it the following names here. Okay, so call it SSP status. And yeah, that's all. And then click over here. Once you've added it, then you need to click over here on this little arrow, and you need to add a status label. So you click the Add Panel button and select Status Label. So I guess that's like this. Here. And choose this one here. So there are different things that you can put in the status bar, but we're just going to put the status label there. Just some text is going to be there. Okay, and then change the name of the label to TSS Label 1, and the text is ready. Okay, everybody ready with that? And then we're going to add some code. So why don't we do this now before we add the menu bar at the top? So we're going to make a property. So type public property. This just goes on the form, in the normal part of the form, between the class keywords, and type public property status text as string. And actually, this stuff should, when you hit enter, this stuff should be set, which should be in there, and also end property. And then all you have to do is type, instead of, just type this one, TSS label 1 dot text, and here type TSS label 1 dot text equals value. So enter that into your code right now. So tool strip, and then set the properties of the tool strip as toolstrip 1, and doc equals top. Okay, and you'll see that down here. When you click down here, you can change the properties. Okay. And next, you want to grab the images. So you have to go to Blackboard and download the images folder, which is zipped, and you have to unzip it. So go to Blackboard and do that. He says various system images are in the Visual Studio 2012 image library, which can be downloaded here. However, for simplicity, instead we will use the set of images here, which we just downloaded. So we have those. And then what you want to do is make a new folder over here. So you click on the name of the project, which actually you could rename it to text editor here. But anyway, you click on the name of the project here, and you'll get this menu here, and you click add, and it comes up here, and you can see new folder as one of the options. So add a new folder. And I think you can, once you've done that, you can double click that folder and it will open up in Windows Explorer, and you can just drag these other images in there. Okay, so next, we want to add particular buttons to the menu at the top. So now we will add 6 buttons to Toolstrip 1. We're going to add the clear button, the red button, the blue button, to upper, which is really bold, lower, and the about button. To add the first button, click the Add Toolstrip button drop-down list. So you click here, and you see you can add a button. So just do that, and add the first button. And now you want to set the image for this first button. And the way that you do that is you click on, can I close it? Oops, I lost it. Anyway, you click on the button that you just added, and then you set the properties. Let me just open it up again. You set the properties. Click on the button there. And you go to image here, you click on here, and you get these three dots. That's called an ellipsis. You click on that little ellipsis, and that brings up this dialog box. And then you first click the button clear to clear whatever is there currently, and then click import, and then find the image folder that you have, which should be in your project, wherever your project is. So in mine, it's inside my project, inside text editor, and images is there. And I can select the image, and the image, the first image you want to select is the clear image, I believe. Let's see what it's called. This new one, this one here, new.bmp. Okay, so that's the first one. You want to use that. And then you will have the image. And the other properties that you need to set for this button are the name should be TBR clear, and the display style should be equal to image, and there should be no text there. Okay, so you should set all of those properties for that first button. Then he says repeat this for the other 5 buttons, but actually I only want you to do it for right now for one more button. So just add one more button and name it TBR red. And for the image, do the same thing. In other words, go back to click on that second image, and then get the image property. Click over here on the ellipsis, find the red button, first click clear, then find the red button and select it. Okay, to do that, just for the second button, we don't need to do all of them right now. And also the other thing is you want to make the tooltip text property. You can also do that. So find the tooltip property and set that to make text red. So the tooltip is like when you put the mouse over the button, you'll see some little tooltip, and it's going to say make text red. Okay, and after you've done that, then the next thing is to add a text box. So add a text box like this, and give it the name txt-edit. Multi-line equals true. The multi-line property should be equal to true. Scroll bars should be set to vertical. And text should be blank. Okay, so it should look like this. At least the first two buttons should look like that.